Thank you for joining this week's episode of Realtor Spotlight. I'm Valli Williams, Mortgage Loan Officer with C2 Financial Corporation, the nation's #1 mortgage broker. I'm here today with one of my faves from East County, Drake Dawley. Hi Drake, how are you?
Hello, good, how are you?
Drake is co-owner of Leaf Realty. Him and I had met through, I think a while ago, through my brothers many years ago. They're local investors, and I just worked with him a few times, but I didn't know, just recently we found out that I had grown up with and went to brownies and Girl Scouts with his sister.
Yeah.
Because of the power of social media, I saw them post each other in a tag, and I think one of the things I said was,
Hey.
Sheena is not your sister, you are not her brother. But I think that just goes to show how small of a world it is, especially in East County. So Drake, how are you doing?
Very well.
Good.
And Sheena and I are polar opposite, by the way. Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen her, but
Yeah, she's doing great.
you know, it was really cool to see that. It's like a nice little connection.
Absolutely.
But why don't you tell us about New Leaf Realty and yourself and kind of the community you serve?
You know, I was with a larger brokerage, and you know, when I started into real estate, I was with Century 21 Award initially, and then I transitioned into Remax. And at the time, it was just, you know, I had 4 kids, and you know, was trying to better myself and situation, and with the amount of, you know, splits and tech fees and everything that comes out of those commissions, at the end of the year, when I, you know, saw that I wrote almost $40,000 worth of, you know, desk fees and everything else that came out of it, I literally was sitting at my desk and I was like, man, it's time to turn over a new leaf. And I'm like, oh, I sat there and I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. And, you know, I just figured that I could do it more effectively on my own. And the relationships that I was building was what was generating the lead opportunities. I wasn't getting anything from their logo on my card or, you know, the national branding or anything like that. It was all through my sphere of influence and, you know, friends and family. So I just decided to go in head first, and I started New Leaf Realty in March of 2015 and had a little office in La Mesa, and you know, was doing it. And I had a good friend of mine who was a full-time pastor but had a broker's license that he wasn't really using, and he offered it to me, and I just paid him a transaction fee, and you know, kind of started it that way. And you know, still in La Mesa. I grew up in La Mesa. I went to Lemon Avenue. I went to La Mesa Junior High. I went to Helix, so I'm very familiar with that area. But when I was going into you know, growing and starting this business, there was just no. It was just me in an office. Yeah. There was no synergy, there was no competition, you couldn't feed off anybody. And so I reached out to my friend John Lieber, who's now my business partner and co-owner, which is also the broker of record. And we partnered up in November of 15 and had just had an amazing relationship, partnership, and growing a fun little business. I mean, we're a little boutique, you know, agency in La Mesa, but together, you know, we do a good amount of business and treat our clients, you know, what we feel above expectations for sure.
That's awesome. So while you were saying that, I was thinking of a new leaf. So to me, it's kind of cool because it'll be powerful in the future as the market always repeats itself at some point. Not that we're going to have the Armageddon again, but at some point, you know, things are they could possibly slide again. And I like the idea of New Leaf Realty because people at some point will be turning over a new leaf.
Absolutely.
And that's coming out of foreclosure or short sale, out of credit repair. And then hopefully your brand really spotlights in that because I think that name is really cool.
Yeah, thank you. No, I like it as well. I mean, that's kind of what stemmed this whole thing for us, you know, definitely.
Yeah, so one of the things I was thinking about while you're talking also is how your business practices, you and John, how do they stand out different from other companies or other realtors? You
know, we really, and me in particular, and we both know our position. He's really good on, you know, the legal aspect of it, ethics, and the business aspect of it. I bring more of, you know, the branding and the marketing, you know, brand recognition and marketing and the design and stuff like that. So, you know, for me, we just try to provide, you know, a service that is above and beyond. You know, I mean, you start getting into this business, and I've always done some type of relational sales, and I've always been about the people and about the client. So for me, how it differentiates is, you know, I might work a little harder in my business because I do more work, Certain things that I do that separates me from the average agent is I typically don't put lock boxes on the homes because I like that customer interaction.
Ooh, yeah.
I like, seeing who the other agent is and how you
Yeah.
work together and stuff like that. And for me, it just brings a little more value to the client because they see that you're going above and beyond. You're not just putting a lockbox on the house and a sign in the front yard and saying, go show. I coordinate all the showings. I show up to all the showings. I get to see who the potential buyers are. I get good feedback to refer back to my clients. So, and I just enjoy that interaction, and honestly, I mean, I've had opportunities where, and it's not like I'm trying to yank the carpet out on anybody, but I've had opportunities where those prospective buyers had called me later that day and said, hey, would you help us find a house? We're really not happy with our agent that we're working with right now. And I mean, it's led to other business opportunities as well. So just by doing that, it just makes me feel like I'm earning my keep basically for the client. But it gives me a better sense of, who the potential buyer is and stuff like that.
Well, it really conveys in how I've worked with you. I've noticed a higher level of professionalism, and that's just speaking straight truth. If I've seen you with your clients, whether they're friends, family, a referral, you are so professional. In contrast to, like, I deal with a lot of realtors, so I see the professionalism and the difference in that, and I'm sure that those clients and those sellers see the same thing like you were talking about. But I also, when I drove in here, you were talking about yourself in marketing. I saw your sweet ride that's wrapped with all your branding, which I think is cool too. It separates you a little bit and has a great brand recognition. So I also, the last thing I wanted to ask you just quickly is, what do you think sellers and buyers should expect in this current new market we're in?
Honestly, just more of the same right now. I mean, there's definitely a turn in the market. The inventory has come up quite a bit from where it was last year. Interest rates have come up as well, and they fluctuate. I mean, you're going to know more of this than I would, obviously, but for what we're seeing is the interest rates have come up, and they're probably most likely not going to be as low as they ever, as they were ever again.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's all relative. I mean, there's still people that are going to need to sell their house. There's still people that are going to need to buy a house. There's still divorces. There's still deaths in the family. So, a lot of the media and everything's putting out there that the market, this, that, and the other, but it's all relative. It just depends on your mindset and what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, you can sit there and absorb, that it's slowed down and the interest rates and it's taking buyers out of it, but there's still plenty of people that still have to buy and have to sell. So, I would anticipate, again, there's going to be a little more of what we're going through right now, where the interest rates are going to fluctuate. The inventory is going to continue to grow. But it's mainly just going to be, staying in front of the right people and keep building those relationships, and, eventually you're just going to continue to buy and sell homes. But as far as what I see and expect in the market, I think it's just going to be more of the same thing, and it's just another cycle. Right now the pricing may dip a little bit, but another 3 to 5 years it's going to be above where we're at right now. So I would just say, along those lines, I guess.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Drake. Thank you for that. That was good information. And if any of you are looking for a realtor with a little different approach, reach out to my friend Drake Dawley here with New Leaf Realty. Thanks for watching.